Okay guys, welcome back to another episode. Thank you for all the comments on the chain. The chain thing was wild. Go try it for yourself, okay? If you guys get hurt, it's not my fault. You do it at your own risk. So what today we have, believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever worked on a Haro FST. And let me give you a little brief history on it. So this is an 87. During that time, there was the Haro Master and the Haro Sport. Some of you guys know the Haro Master is twin top tube. So this piece right here, this platform goes all the way to the front. Very iconic. Well, the Sport, it's only a short platform, just like the GT, the Dyno, the Hutch. The Master and the Sport is their upper, higher end bikes. The Master being the cream of the crop. Sport's right underneath, but the Sport itself, it's still a high model. So what the FST is a more affordable Sport. Initially the same shape frame. Now I'm not 100%, but I know the Master and the Sport is 100% chromoly throughout. The FST, judging by some of the bikes that we work on here, I would say maybe the front end of it is chromoly, the back end is tri-moly, vice versa. But there's also one more model. It's called the FSX. The FSX is the bottom. It looks like the Sport. It comes with cheaper components and is made more affordable. What you guys see a lot of is the FST. The FST is actually, there's a lot more out there. Why haven't I ever seen it? I don't know. But I know a lot of people have brought the Sports and the Master here for me to work on. So it's actually pretty cool to be working on one of these. So the customer, this is his original bike. It's a Survivor, as you guys can see. You guys can see some of the wear and tear. Look at all the chips, the scratch. Oh, the iconic platform. The one thing I like about these Survivor bikes is that these bikes, they're 1987. What is that? That's like 40 years old, about. And I mean, look at it. Everything is still there. The crank is still good. You know, bearings, the original bearings in there. The headset's still original. The stem, bars. The only thing that I've noticed is not original is the tires. The cable, because you can see right here, this is not it. Back then it would just say Odyssey, because back then Odyssey had the patent to this. Now everybody has it. And also the mags. These are GT Performer mags. So he doesn't remember how it got on there or how it come about having it, but it's on there. The one thing that I did not know on this bike, the thing that I really like, is the seat post. I never knew the seat post was fluted, but this is steel fluted. You guys are used to the aluminum one, but this is a steel fluted one. I never knew that. That's pretty cool. It strengthens it out. Other than that, almost everything on here is original. So the customer wants us to get it back on the road. And he's like, oh man, you can see the guy was sweating because he thinks I'm gonna drop like $2,000 bill on him. Not really. Judging by how everything goes, if you look at the brakes, you can tell from my finger, like the strain on my finger, this thing is barely pulling. Look at that. Look at the cable. Look at all this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the cable out, lube it, the gyro, look, it needs to be adjusted. But other than that, look, it pulls. See it's going? I'm gonna change the pads, and then he wants to get rid of the mags, and we're gonna go with traditional rim and spokes. That one's gonna be, it's gonna be a lot stiffer, it's gonna roll a lot better. And then also, don't know if you guys know this, but these mags, they're only rated at about like 35 PSI or maybe even that. It being so old, if we were to put a new tire in and pump it up, it would just crack and it'll blow up. I don't know, has any of you guys ever experienced that? Comment in. Okay, we're gonna start getting ready to pull the parts. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I've been doing this for a while, and if some of you guys said, well, I've been doing it wrong, well, guess what? I've been making a living doing it wrong. I guess I'll keep doing it. The body of it right here, there's really nothing to it. It's not bent, it is not cracked. There's really nothing to it. The only thing that makes this thing move is this spring right here. There's a spring back here, and there's washers in here. That's all there is. If you want your brakes to stop and your brake isn't stopping, it's this guy. It's the pad. Other than that, you remove this, there is nothing in there. It's just all it is just grease, clean up, and that's it. So I say keep it. What about the cable? If you look at the cable itself, it's pretty healthy. It's not cracked, it's not kink. Same thing. He goes, what about the chain? I go, you know what? Despite the chain's pretty old, I looked at it, it's pretty good. There's not a lot of movement. Crank, same thing. So should I go with 3-piece? Well, now it comes to preference. I told him, you know what? The bike itself it has all this. I'm like, you know what? I would just leave it. If you want to go 3-piece, cool, go 3-piece. That's all up to you. That is all preference. Grips, of course, he goes, guys, salvage this. Man, these things, they are, look at this thing barely moves. They're plastic. They're hard now. Seat itself, I told him, this seat right here is the original. I don't know how good the plastic is on it. I myself have worked on one of these and sat on it. Not one of these, but one of these seats, sat on it and it broke. So I told him, if you plan to ride it, take the seat off. They do make Repop Dominator, which we are getting in soon. And put one of those things on because you can sell one of these original for more. He said, what about the bearings? You know what? One of the things is, if I move it, could you guys hear it? You don't hear any crunching. It's actually pretty smooth. It's really stiff. It's not moving. So I'm telling him, you know what? I could take it out and clean it, but judging by it and hearing it, I go, you know what? Save yourself the money and leave it like that. Some of you guys might be like, you know what? I'm gonna tear it down. Yes. If he wants to pay me to do a complete overhaul, I will tear this thing down, nuts and bolts, bearings, I'll clean it out. But he wants to do it on a budget. So the headset, bottom bracket's fine. So the only thing we're gonna really change on this guy, wheels, tires, brake pads, put some pedals on, and then lube up the brakes. You guys gonna see when we're done how cheap it is to get this thing back on the road. It's gonna run a lot better. So wheels, we're gonna go with these guys right here. And what these guys are, they are SE wheels. You got seal bearing, high flange hub, anodized, rim. I mean, it's bang for your buck. Some people are like, oh, they're SE. That's not a problem, guys. There's a lot of people back then, when they built bikes, they put other parts on it. We're not trying to restore this thing to original. We're trying to restore and make it rideable. And this is the most bang for your buck. Believe it or not, he wanted to build a whole wheel set, chrome, all that. It came out to be about like $800. I was the one that told him he didn't have to. I would say this is good enough. So he didn't want to go cheap. I told him not to. Okay, tires. He wanted something that fits the bike. So a lot of these tires, they're too fat. They're not gonna clear the frame or clear the fork or clear the brakes because these are 20 by 2.4. That bike right there, those old school bike, I would be pushing it if I say 2.1. So one of the option is, he's got these, but to me, these are more dirt tires. We got the classic Pana Racers in all the colors. Of course, the GT, but he saw these and he goes, oh wow, those are the Haro ones. And luckily for him, we have a pair. He wanted black. Which one would you guys choose? White with skin wall or black? Definitely the white would look really dope when it's on the stand. As soon as it touches the ground, that's it. So we're gonna go with black, and lucky for him, there's a pair left. And if you guys remember what I said about the PSI on the mags, if I put these on there and pump it up to the maximum, there's a chance it's gonna crack. Remember, if any of you guys have ever had that happen, please comment in. So with these tires and these rims, we're gonna be able to pump this thing up to the max. The max on this guy is, where is it? I wanna say it's about 100 PSI. So at 100 PSI, that bike's gonna roll smooth. Okay, grips. We have the same exact grip he has. The black ones, black Amy's. You guys can see we have a whole slew of them. Again, he wanted white, but we all could agree that the white's gonna look really good on it, but only for a minute. After that, it's gonna get junk. What other color would you guys put on that bike? I would say black because it's just real easy, it's gonna last. Okay, Then we need a freewheel for this. That's a 16. We got all the fancy one, the box, the theory, but you know what? I suggested the ACS because why? It's classic, good price, and reliable. What do you guys think? What would you guys put on there? You guys want to put one of those really, really loud ones? Then brake pads, so come on over here. Let's look at the bike. We got all the Cool Stop. Quite frankly, guys, I think Cool Stop makes one of the best brakes. They have so many options than one of the OGs. So, I'm saying go on clear because the clear stops the best. But then the bike is so cool. There's the color. So, maybe the blue. Maybe the white. But do I have white? Crikey. I'm out of white. It's not your fault.
Not mine.
You went to Japan. You went to Japan. You didn't. You're the brake inventory guy. Well, the pad. I think we might just go with black. I would go with white or clear. What do you guys think? You know what? I think we'll go with clear. Clear always stops. I wonder how long it's been. I don't know what's up with these axles, but yeah, he thought about swapping these because we do have these guys. We have them hanging up there. So we do offer those. Those are completely been restored. Bearings been repacked. It's been whitened. It varies in price because of condition. Some of them are better condition than other, meaning there's scuffs on it. But they still can't run that high of a PSI. So that kind of turned him off. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm a big guy now. So I want something where it rolls good. So these guys right here, you can see they had better days. Looked like they were painted before too. And then somebody sanded. That's fine. Somebody's trash is another person's treasure. A lot of you guys don't know, but whenever we work on any of these bikes, the price doesn't really affect that much compared to the newer bikes. It's virtually the same thing, especially these Survivor ones. Now the one that has all been restored, repainted, I gotta be a little bit more careful. This is taking a little bit longer, but if you guys look, I'm just gonna let you guys see a little bit of it. Okay? Okay. It's another project we're doing. It looks like, look at this place. It looks like the 80s. You know, you got the mags, you got another mag of this. Oh, I love it. Okay, so got the wheels off, wiped the bike down, kind of like eyeballs certain things. It's good, cool. I'm gonna continue removing stuff. If some of you guys are just new to this, subscribe. And we're doing cool stuff for you guys, okay? Not for us. Because I'm working at the shop, fixing bikes, selling bikes, and I'm also doing these videos to help you guys out. So you guys who know what you're doing, you guys can have the same amount of fun. So subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more people you bring, the better the channel becomes. Also, comment. Okay, if you don't comment something bad, if you see a mistake I'm making, comment why. Comment what you would do. Okay, pads are all off, wheels are off. Let's go grab these wheels. Just kidding. So this is the wheel, guys. It's all together. Okay. Now, if you guys could get rid of that idea that this is an SE wheel, it's a really nice wheel for how much it costs. Steel bearings, double wall. So looks really nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop it on, and then once I get it on, can't get it on without freewheel. Where's my freewheel? I love the ACS one. I know some of you guys are like, you guys like all the loud stuff and the profile, but you know what? ACS has been doing it for a while, and I would safely say they know what they're doing with freewheels. You guys comment in. What do you think? When it comes to a freewheel, I like to stick with stuff like this. Shimano or ACS. All the new stuff, it's just a gimmick. I don't think ACS is a gimmick. ACS has been doing it for for a long time. And see what I did, guys? I just kind of tightened it with my hand. I'm not gonna put a tool on it because once I put it on, I'm gonna torque this and it'll screw it on. Throw the wheel on. This guy's on here. Washer on the outside. Sometimes you need to kind of give it a little nudge like that. Look at that, guys. You guys can't see it, but right when I pop it on, Max, even though he's filming, he saw it right away. He's like, wow, that's nice. And what I'm doing right here is, if you guys come back here, if you guys could see, I'm kind of like sizing this right in the center. And I'm gonna size it, and then that's where I'm gonna tighten it up. That's why you guys always see me kind of looking at it and all cross-eyed, because I'm trying to aim that. We're gonna opt to go with blue to spice it up instead of the clear. So now that I got the wheel on there, chain's good, alignment's good, we're gonna look at it, and we're going to go put these guys on. I'm gonna align this guy. Then once I get the pads on, I'm actually gonna take out the cable, and I'm gonna clean it and then re-lube it. So some of you guys might like, why don't you do all that at once? Because I want to make sure everything's all bolted on the bike before it gets lost. Squeeze it on, square it out. There you go. That's good. I like it. I like it. Now, have you noticed there's two sets of washers? There's a skinny one and a fatter one. You could switch them accordingly. I like to have these things a little bit more square instead of it being too pinch or too far out. Now what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna pull the cables off, and we're gonna pull it apart, and then we're gonna lube it. Because right now, guarantee is dry inside. So real simple. And you know, some people might be like, hey, you know what? I'll just go and put a new cable. That's not what we're about, man. If I could salvage something, I can. So I'm gonna pull this guy out, get this little NARP pieces out, this little ferrule, NARP, whatever. Go easy, see? Yank that off, and then watch. Where is the lube? Now here's the thing, guys. See how the ends is kind of like already kinked like that? If I pull this off right here, it might be really hard to get back in. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this off, look. See that little kink right there? That's gonna be one of the reasons why it's gonna be really hard. So I'm gonna straighten it out. There it is. Straighten out, this thing goes out the outside. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put the straw in. See the fluid coming down? Give it a couple of good squirt. Cable lasts a little bit longer. When you guys put this in, don't just push it. I tend to kind of turn it the direction of, you see how the cable's it's twisted? I'm gonna turn this the same direction. Because you push it, sometimes it gets hung up, and it's gonna fray this thing up. So I'm gonna twist and push at the same time. And there it goes. It goes out right here. And there you go. Get it mixed up. Get it mixed up. I'm gonna put another. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinstall this. Before I do that, I wanna feel the brakes. Oh yeah, the brakes are butter. The brakes are butter. Add a little bit of lube in there. So the cable was the one that was holding it up. Yeah, I know there's a lot of YouTuber out there. They kind of have their own little studio. Well, you know what? I like to do it in a real live atmosphere here. During business, we got phone calls, we got all that. So it's more authentic. What do you guys think? You guys like that? That we're not in a studio. We're just doing it just live from the shop. So, what do you think? Through here, under, what do you think, Max?
I like the through.
Oh, look, here. We're just running through this one over there, okay? You like it through the platform?
Yeah.
Okay. Or right here. So then you can stand. Okay, see this? But guys, watch this. See that? This guy in. Tighten this guy all the way up. A lot smoother. But I'm not done, guys. Not done adjusting. You know what I just noticed, Max?
It's reverse.
The brake lever is reverse. Some people, most of you guys are more familiar with the right side being the rear. This one is set the opposite. I didn't realize they keep pulling. Wait. So, but there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now I got the lower cable. I'm gonna disconnect the upper cable. I'm gonna do the same thing. All right, so this thing is saturated with oil, man. I got oils, look at it, all my hand. But I'm telling you guys, a lot of people are like, man, you know, you guys dial gyros so good. It's not, I guess it is somewhat of a secret, but not that much secret. All it is, it's just oil, guys. We just dump oil in it, get all the cables moving. So then what you want to do is, you see the play. This is where you guys are opening up all this and give it some tension. Okay, guys, the brakes, front, smooth. For now is the pedals. So plastic pedals, but these are the one that is the closest to the Shimano DX. Always dropping them. So what do you guys think? So far so good. Right pedals. There it is. Good chain, brakes. Listen to this. That's good brake slap right there. All this came under $600. That is the wheel, free wheel, tube and tire, brake pads, pedals. No, it doesn't need new cable and just the labor. Now, was that something where kind of like you guys are a little surprised why it was too much? You guys are surprised why it's so little? We could have done this for a lot cheaper, but I highly recommended these wheels because they're more bang for your buck. He did want it to go with the chrome demolition rim, but I told him, you know what, dude, that's like twice as much money. If you could afford it and you want that extra bling, it's not gonna make your bike ride any better. It might make it brake a little bit better, but these brake fine. So guys, there you have it. My very first Haro FST that I've ever worked on, ever. Because I don't know anybody that had this. So this is, I guess, world's first for me. So what do you guys think? You guys think this is dope? Are some of you guys on the same page as me where I would have left the patina the way it is? Or would you guys strip it down and restore it? Tell me, how would you guys do it? I would love to hear from you, and I do read the comments. Even some of the messed up one, okay? So guys, thank you. Please subscribe. I know our numbers are still kind of like hovering around there, so I know a lot of you guys are not subscribing or trying to get people to subscribe. Engage. The more you engage it, the more we're gonna get out of this, and we'll do more. And we're still working on that guy right there. We'll blur it out. We'll blur it out. Well, we're gonna blur it out. Show it. Show it. We're gonna blur it out. Beep. So yeah, so I thought we were gonna be able to do that a little quicker, but Matt's gotta fabricate some parts for it. That's gonna be dope. That's almost like a dream come true for me to have one of these. All right, guys, I'm out. I gotta get back to cleaning up the place and working. Thank you very much.